Hello, I'm Samuel, and with me is Perry, and today we'll be presenting our pitch for the Fruit Basket smoothie vending machine.
So for the problem we are trying to address relates to health and well-being of Canadians, particularly when it comes to fruit and vegetable consumption. According to Statistics Canada, about 70% of Canadians don't eat enough fruits or veggies on a daily basis, and that's what we want to address. So we believe that this is because healthy food compared to junk food is not as accessible, affordable, convenient, or delicious. So to highlight this problem, we want to focus on how easy it is to attain smoothies, which we believe are one of the most effective healthy foods. So when it comes to accessibility, smoothie bars are generally infrequent, even in a large city like Toronto. There are 187 Booster Juice locations in Ontario, or one for every 79,000 Ontarians, whereas there are 565 Starbucks locations, or one for every 26,000 Ontarians. When it comes to affordability, smoothie bars generally charge $7 to $12 for high quality smoothies, and is often cheaper to buy larger or unhealthy beverages. So, for example, the cheapest and smallest smoothie at Booster Juice is $7.29. The most expensive base Starbucks beverage in its largest form is $6.45. When it comes to convenience, making smoothies requires considerable time and effort, and there's a great deal of portioning and cleaning involved, as well as obtaining the necessary ingredients. This gets especially complicated when consumers want to try different recipes. And lastly, taste. There's no secret that foods loaded with carbs, oils, fats, and all that stuff are sought out for their good taste. And fruits and veggies are often not regarded as delicious. And on a cost basis, it's rare to see healthy foods compete with junkier and more delicious options. And
Fruit Basket's proposed solution is to design a smoothie vending machine that can be placed virtually anywhere, such as college campuses, busy public squares, airports, gyms, transit terminals, and malls. The only positional limitations are locations where plumbing and electricity can be hooked up to the machine. By eliminating costs associated with a brick and mortar store, like real estate and labor, the cost of smoothies can be limited only by the bulk prices of the ingredients. In other words, smoothies can be sold at a much more affordable price to consumers. An intended goal of this machine is to have nearly unlimited customization options to appeal to any consumer and their tastes. By having automated smoothie vending machines placed in strategic locations and being able to produce a custom smoothie in under a minute, customers can easily and affordably access delicious and nutritious smoothies. Our product/service, which is the Fruit Basket smoothie vending machine. How it works. The machine would operate using a revolver-style container with multiple ingredient dispensers laid out like pie slices. After the customer uses a touchscreen panel to select and pay for their desired smoothie, the revolving container would rotate above the stationary cup, dispensing each intended ingredient. When this is done, the container would rotate in such a way to position an attached blending blade above the cup, which itself would lower and blend the smoothie until complete liquefaction. The blade would retract, and then the cup would lower to a position where the customer can grab it. At the end of each smoothie producing cycle, the overhead component would rotate to position the blending blade into a designated cleaning station, where a pressure washer would blast water to clean the residue off the blade, and the blade would be dipped into sanitizing solution. Market opportunity. There's a need for healthy fast food that is not adequately met.
so our business model is a quite simple one. It's just revenue from unit sales, primarily from the smoothies. However, we can also sell the entire machines. So we want to reduce costs as much as possible to reach as many customers as possible. So to achieve this goal, we would only have the variable costs be limited to just the raw ingredients and the restocking. So there's barely any overhead costs. There's no real estate, there's no leasing, few costs outside of just the raw ingredients. And we're going to sell as many smoothies as possible by reaching as many customers as possible by setting up the machines in high traffic areas. So that is essentially our business strategy.
Development costs. We will need to pay for the materials and components of the machine prototypes as well as the final build. This could include a 3D printer or 3D printing access, and the associated materials in order to construct some of the components. We estimate that the cost of constructing one machine is around $2,000. Production costs. The production costs entail the prices of the raw ingredients. Here we have a breakdown of the cost of ingredients we would like to use in the machine. Business sustainability. Customers will pay a price which will be competitive but still allow for profit. We will apply for grants when possible and use a portion of the money made from these machines and grants to further develop them and add improvements. We will also use this money to fund the construction and installation of more machines around campuses for added convenience. Go-to market. The first target market I would consider is students on campus. Students tend to be among the most price-conscious demographic. In addition, they would benefit greatly from having easy access if machines are to be installed on campus, considering their busy schedules. This would be a sizable demographic, as campuses are high-traffic areas with tens of thousands of active students. Ryerson University has a student population of over 36,000 students, and the University of Toronto has over 61,000 students. Also, younger generations are more likely to adopt plant-based diets. A survey found that 14% of participants under the age of 30 described their diets as vegan, vegetarian, or pescatarian. These demographics can be incredibly beneficial to the success of Fruit Basket, as smoothies are a staple in plant-based diets and can easily be marketed as such. Other sizable customer markets that would benefit from the smoothie machine include general working class, particularly commuters at subway or bus terminals, that likely do not have much time to make their own smoothies and cannot diverge too far out of the way of their commute to buy them at smoothie bars. Also, gym goers, nutritionally conscious individuals who have high demand for protein. We would also need permission to install the machines on campus. We would preferably not have a machine installed on the Ontario Tech U campus, as there is already a booster juice on campus, and that combined with the size of the campus itself would not allow us to have as significant of an impact as we would like to for the placement of our first machine.
For the competitive advantage, I want to take it back to those four keywords we brought up earlier: accessibility, affordability, convenience, and deliciousness. So we believe that our design would strike at these four components when it comes to our competition. So for accessibility, we're going to have these machines set up in high foot traffic corridors, so they're easily accessible to a lot of people. Affordability, we're going to be undercutting our competition with ease because there would be less overhead costs, as we mentioned earlier. For convenience, we will make sure that from the software side, the smoothie machine has a very easy to use interface. And we'll also design the machine to be able to produce smoothies from start to finish in under a minute. And this is a huge advantage compared to other smoothie shops, because those smoothies usually take a couple minutes to produce, from measuring and pouring and dealing with other customers. So we believe there's a huge advantage there. And in terms of deliciousness, it's entirely customizable, thousands of different combinations. You can tweak how much of each ingredient you want, and the software would be able to detect if the smoothie can be made, just make sure it's not too thick. It is able to be blended. There would be fail safes for that, and there would be something for everyone's taste. So for actual competitors, when it comes to the direct competition, there are two different categories. There's the actual smoothie machines, and for instance, there was this pop-up in Vancouver. You can see on the screen here that what their smoothie machine looks like. And you can see it looks very similar to a vending machine. And a machine like this has only 5 options to pick from. So we believe our machine would have much more customizability and would operate entirely different from a machine like this, especially because you can actually see the ingredients and you can see the entire process from the ingredients being dispensed into the cup to the blending to everything. So other forms of competition are, as we mentioned many times before, the other smoothie vendors like Booster Juice. So these are the direct competitions. When it comes to indirect competition, we have other beverage vendors, and these can encompass any sort of cold beverages. Think Starbucks, chilled drinks. It can be frappuccinos, and this can extend to Tim Hortons, McDonald's, basically anywhere that can sell cold drinks. And to some extent, this can even apply to ice cream parlors. As someone who has ice cream in the same day, they probably don't want a smoothie. They're probably already satisfied.
Progress made. So far, we have formed sketches and have made a start on the 3D modeling process. We still need to model the certain components and mechanisms needed to form a prototype. The models and sketches were used throughout the presentation earlier. Thank you for listening.